Okay, so this is my favourite handheld I own, ever. And now it's even better. This is the Sony PSP Go, and it originally came out way back in 2009. And even now, it still feels like a brilliant piece of engineering. But that's not really why I've been using it so much. It's like a weird little smartphone detox device. No doom scrolling, just games. And music. Oh, and it plays videos. And I didn't realise how much I missed that simplicity. But on a recent trip to Hong Kong, I got the chance to try one out in person. And yeah, I fell in love with it immediately. So it came home with me. And I've been using it every single day since I got it. On bus rides, at coffee shops, even on the toilet. This thing just lives in my pocket. This is basically my perfect grab and go EDC handheld. All in something smaller than my phone. And something that actually fits in my pocket. Comfortably. Pretty much any pocket. Okay, maybe not that one. So at the time, not many people really cared for the PSP Go when it first released, including me. I had the original PSP and the PSP Slim, but I didn't even look twice at the Go at the time. Sony removed the UMD slot found on the original PSP to make it truly portable, but in the process it lost a bit of its soul. So no physical games, fully digital, and weak Wi-Fi at the time, remember? So it just felt like Sony had gone a bit too far, too soon. But looking back now, Sony had a real winner on their hands. The world just wasn't ready for it yet. And that's kind of Sony's thing, isn't it? They build something ahead of its time, and years later, people finally catch up and appreciate it. Fast forward 17 years, and I don't think I've ever paid for something quicker. The thing is, the moment you hold it, you get it. Because only Sony can make something like this. The slider mechanism, the weight, the materials, the screen. It just feels right. Even now, it feels premium. The design of this thing, I mean, it really feels like a carryover from the 90s, where companies would just dare to try new things. Take risks, do something a bit weird, just to see if it worked. And that energy kind of spilled over into the 2000s, where stuff like this started showing up. And the PSP Go is so 2000s in the way it's designed. And it had good company at the time as well. Stuff like the Nokia N-Gage, the Sony Ericsson Xperia Play, even things like the Microsoft Zune. Remember that one? And obviously all the iPods that were around at the time. All a bit odd, a bit misunderstood, but kind of brilliant in hindsight. And onto the slider mechanism, which is just perfection really. That instant snapshot slide open action is ridiculously satisfying. I mean, you close it and it just clicks into place like it means it. I had the Ambinix slide recently, which was trying to recreate the same idea. But compared to this, it felt clunky, a bit loud, a bit loose, just nowhere near as refined. And that's the difference here. Sony didn't just add a slider, they engineered it. And it clearly stood the test of time. It's been 17 years, and this mechanism feels like it could go on for another 17 years. Now, the screen on this sucker is 3.8 inches. Actually a really nice sweet spot. Not too small, not too big, perfect arm's length. Because the PSP Go is the same 480 by 272 resolution, but on a smaller screen, the pixel density is higher, making everything look significantly sharper than other PSPs. And even by today's standards, it's just a really nice experience gaming on this. So my pursuit for a truly portable handheld ends here. With things just getting bigger and bigger, the PSP Go is the perfect remedy. I'm talking about something I could just generally throw in my pocket. It's absolutely perfect as a carry around device. And then it hit me, why not turn this into a dual handheld? PSP and GBA, two of my all-time favourites in one tiny device. But first I needed a few upgrades. M2 to SD adapter with a 128GB microSD card, a much needed fresh battery, and finally a snap-on clear shell, which I think looks pretty good on the white model. This one was actually already modded when I got it, with 6.61 Pro C Infinity, which saved me a bit of time, so all I really had to do was load up my games. So on the Game Boy Advance side of things, I installed something called TempGBA. You drop it into the games folder and it shows up like any other game. You launch it and it lists all the games within the app. And from here you can just scroll through, load the ones you want, and that's all there is to it. You've also got some options in the menu as well to make tiny adjustments, like making the screen output a little larger to fill the screen, save states, stuff like that. Now yeah, it's a 16:9 screen, so you will have some borders on the sides, but honestly, you stop noticing that pretty quickly. And right now, this might be one of my favourite ways to play Game Boy Advance games, full stop. Now the GBA catalogue is just packed to the brim with fun games as well, perfect for playing minutes at a time. I always have these core GBA games on every handheld I have. Zookeeper, a really addictive puzzle game, Motocross Maniacs Advance, Frantic Racer that I loved on the original Game Boy, Mr. Driller, stone cold classic, enough said, Advance Wars, same thing, and Pokemon Pinball. I love the Game Boy Color original, and this is even better. If you're a fighting game fan like me, good news, there's plenty of them on the PSP, and two of my personal favourites, Tekken Dark Resurrection and Street Fighter Alpha 3. They are brilliant on here. Perfect kind of games to kill a few minutes here and there. Oh, I also put a handful of my personal favourite PS1 games on here too, because why not? So yeah, I've been having an absolute blast with this little thing, like properly surprised by how much I enjoy it. And a lot of that comes down to how small and portable it is. I got this Peak Design mobile crossbody strap which I use with my iPhone 17 Pro, and it actually worked pretty good with the PSP Go as well, which has a lanyard hole right here. It hardly weighs anything, so you can always have this on your body, and it's available to you immediately. Now, there are more comfortable ways to play both the PSP and GBA, but that's not the point. This isn't for long sessions. You use it for quick games for those in-between times. This is the 5 to 15 minutes at a time kind of handheld, and it absolutely nails that. Now, there are some downsides to this PSP Go. This little analog nub here, I'm not crazy about it. It does the job I guess, but it's just one of those things where you can tell they were a bit limited by the design. Also, jumping out of a PSP game and into another one, it's not quite as instant as what we're used to now on modern handhelds. You do feel that. If I'm being a bit picky though, I'd love a cleaner, faster way to actually browse the games. Something a bit more streamlined. I think there's a plugin for that, I just haven't gone down that rabbit hole yet. So if any of you seasoned modders know the move here, let me know in the comments, I'll genuinely appreciate it. Because as it stands, this is kind of my perfect EDC handheld in 2026 via 2009, which is slightly ridiculous but also kind of brilliant. I've also been using this as an MP3 player lately as well. There's a music folder on the root of the card that you drop your MP3 albums into, and it's as simple as that. So you can use Bluetooth earphones, and it has a 3.5mm output. And I've got to say, the sound quality is actually really good. So good that I had a little Google and found out that the PSP Go features a Wilson DAC chip, which is the same one the iPod Classic 5th Gen had, I believe. It's got a really nice, almost analog, warm sound signature. That was a real surprise. And as an MP3 player, it's pretty cool. You can just snap it shut, set your volume, put the hold button on, and with this strap, it's on you within easy reach. Brilliant stuff. The PSP Go also plays videos. You can use something like Handbrake on the Mac to convert videos to PSP format. Takes a few minutes to convert over, but the movies are really easy to transfer using the cable. And before you know it, you're watching one of the finest movies ever made. Dumb and Dumber. Can't believe it didn't win an Oscar. At the end of the day, I just love how dinky this thing is. When I came back from my recent trip, I was thinking actually how great this would be as an in-flight handheld. It takes up hardly any space, and it's the perfect size to game on in those confined spaces. But yeah, what do you guys think of this setup? Because I'll be honest, this has kind of sent me down a bit of a rabbit hole. I'm now seriously considering picking up another golden oldie, maybe a GBA SP or the DSi XL. I haven't decided yet though. So let me know which one you'd go for. Right, I'm going to lose a completely reasonable amount of time on this thing. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.